Hey everybody, it's just Craig here. Hope you're all well and well on your way to getting assignment 2 completed. For those that missed the lecture and haven't seen the communication on Leo, just wanted to let you know that Ellen's given you a week extension, which is great. So that'll now be due effectively 2 weeks this Friday. So just wanted to make sure that you're all well underway with that. There's a few different things that you can use to rely on, I'd suggest, to help you with that. I have put up on the communication site a suggested structure in relation to how that might help you to form or structure your assignment. Up to you if you decide to use that or not. But I wanted to give you some sort of tool or structure to help you if you're struggling with how you might look to put your assignment together. Don't forget, and just remember that it is a persuasive essay, and what you do need to do is to address that question about if people are your greatest asset. Then what do you need to do to help our capital investment in our people? In our answer, then we need to consider things like performance management, learning and development, retention and rewards. So as I spoke about, I think over the lecture and certainly over the series of lectures, the first part is making sure that you make a direct link between the organisational strategy and your HR strategy. There's no requirement if you don't want to come up with an organisational strategy to which you want to link it, but I think it's probably really important to make sure that from a theory and a strategic HRM perspective that you at least make the link and understand why that link's important. Because as we spoke about in the lecture, remember that it's important that strategic HRM is linked to the overall strategy of the organisation to ultimately be able to achieve success. So what you want to be able to do with that question is that if that is the case, that our people are our greatest assets, then how do we develop the investment in that in that capital? Then everything you do around performance management, learning, retention and rewards needs to make sure that you are doing everything you possibly can from a metric point of view and then from an initiative point of view to be able to work your way to achieving that success. So remember, when you're being persuasive then in your essay, that everything that you offer in terms of a suggestion, an actionable insight, or metrics that you might use to help you to achieve that success, that you always bring it back to the fact that whatever you do needs to make sure that ultimately it's all about developing our capital investment. Once you start to think about then metrics, I would be looking at metrics then under each of those headings, so learning and development, performance management, retention and certainly rewards. So think about all the types of data that you need to collect in order to achieve your HR strategy. So for those that missed week 8 last week, there are a couple of example HR strategies within that presentation, which I'd suggest you can rely on. No need to pick a strategy for each of those areas: learning, development, performance, retention, and I think I mentioned rewards today. Yeah, learning, development, performance management, rewards and retention. So no need to pick a strategy for each, but if you pick a broad enough strategy, you may be able to then use that to pick up all of those metrics. So then in terms of looking at your metrics, well, what data do you need to collect to be able to help you to achieve that HR strategy? And then think about things that you might be able to do locally, from a HR point of view, if it's employee surveys, training needs analysis, any of those types of initiatives to help you get the results you need. You may find though that those initiatives don't give you outcomes straight away, but identify that in your persuasive essay, that if you do these things, it may lead to assist you to get some outcome, and then the data will be there to to assist you to help make those linkages. And don't forget, as you go throughout, and then certainly in finalising your assignment, in terms of persuasive pieces, bringing it back to the fact that if our people are our greatest assets, then what have you done throughout your whole essay to make sure that we get back to that fundamental, which is about developing our people. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a context. Do refer to the lecture slides certainly for the last 8 weeks. I'd encourage you to do a little bit of research around strategic HR and that link between organisational strategy. There have been some good assignments that I found just on Google that talked about that. So I think it's important to take me on a journey where you can and connect the dots to what we've learnt about so far this semester. So utilise those resources, the communication tool online, and know that I'm available certainly for the next couple of weeks, either by email or phone. And certainly in that study week, if anyone wants to catch up with me in person over coffee to talk about their structure, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So from here, good luck, and I'll speak to you all soon. And if not, I'll see you certainly that week that we return after your study week. Thank you.